guys, welcome back to another Denim video. Today we're going to be doing our very first performance mod. Now, are we going to take the truck out with the draggy and see if we can decrease our quarter-mile times? Absolutely not. I could care less about that kind of stuff on this truck. However, what I do care about is allowing that 5.7 to breathe as much air as possible and sound as good as possible while doing it. So we're going to be swapping out our factory intake for a high flow kit today, which not only is going to increase our performance and fuel economy, it's also going to sound a lot better and definitely look a lot better. So let's go ahead, pop the hood, see what we're working with. So this truck is 27 years old and it's definitely showing its age right here. This airbox is about to fall out of the truck. Honestly, I've never liked the design of the GMT 400 intakes. I think this is the last generation before GM really figured it out, because on the GMT 800, it's a very, very good and solid intake. Now, I will give it to this one. You can get access to your air filter super quick and easy, but I just don't like this side entrance. It's hard to get back together. It's honestly easily breakable. I mean, easily lasted 27 years, but at some point it started to decline. So let's go ahead and start removing it. The lid just slips right off. Got our filter, which does look really good. It's been replaced, of course. And then this guy, which is supposed to be into your fender and then cups over right here and clipped into place. It's just kind of chilling right here. I think all we need is a flat-headed screwdriver to start getting this thing apart. We do have a couple sensors here, evap there. This is going to be a muffler right here, intake muffler. So this is to help reduce intake noise, but we don't want that. We want the 5.7 to scream. So it's definitely going to sound better, and I know it's going to look a lot better. So let's go ahead, start unclipping this stuff and try our best not to break anything, because, you know, old plastic is usually brittle and you don't want to tear it up. So let's just unclip very carefully. You definitely don't want to mess this guy up. All right, we'll go ahead and just take it off from here. I can literally crawl in the engine bay and just take me a seat. So this should just pop like that. And we'll actually just unscrew this guy, and then it should lift off of there. Maybe we have another clamp. Let's see. Take that guy free. And off she is. So I decided to go with the K&N cold air intake, which, yes, it's an open box filter, so cold air, not necessarily the truth, but you have right here, guaranteed plus horsepower and torque. Doesn't say how much, but it's guaranteed, boys, so she's gonna be ripping for sure. All right, so this is gonna be our filter. And we got coupler, instructions. Wow, we have a bunch of fittings. Clamps, screws, weather seal, and here's our tube. This is gonna be our box, so that's why all the screws are there. We gotta put the shielding. It's not really a box, just, I guess, heat shield. So I was joking because it says on the box, guaranteed horsepower and torque increase. Well, it actually came with a dyno sheet, but unfortunately this has 5 liter instead of 5.7. Hopefully this kit fits both, because if it doesn't fit my truck, I ain't gonna be happy. Either way, as you can see right here, almost 10 horsepower increase and 10 foot-pounds of torque, which obviously it says, you know, results may vary. But if that's the case, that ain't gonna be bad. 10 horsepower on something that makes 180 wheel, that's pretty freaking good. So now we need to go ahead and remove this factory airbox mount. It's actually a 13 mil screw under the fender right there. Now we're gonna use a 7/32 to remove the stud off the back of the throttle body right here. Now you want to hold the bottom portion with a 8 mil, and then we're going to take this loose, separating these, and we're going to reinstall the lower portion back in the throttle body. We're going to screw this lower portion back in, and you can use a 5/16 as well. Use a flathead to loosen up these clamps so we can get our mass airflow sensor out. Who's going to do it? Oh. Okay. There she is. Now this side's let loose as well. Oh, she's dirty. There she is. All right, so now we're supposed to hand tighten these 3 coupler nuts, I think is what they called them, onto our factory throttle body bolts. Just gonna hand tighten those. Clean up really good around your throttle body, and then we're gonna be installing this little rubber gasket. Now we're gonna install our throttle body adapter. Unfortunately, we did run into a little bit of a problem. For whatever reason, our coupler nuts are not the right size. They're much too short, but we're making it work. So I ran to the parts store, spent $3 getting some longer bolts, and I have them Loctited down. Now, obviously, you would want them to sit flat on the top of that nut and underneath the spacer. So hopefully it all stays good. It tightened down properly, but it's definitely not the right one on there. Either way, it should work. Like I said, I put blue Loctite on both ends, so it shouldn't go anywhere. It's nice and tight, nice and snug. So here's how it should look after you get done. 10 nuts and bolts holding the shield together. I put this little grommet in right here, and then on the bottom, we have the mounting hardware. You'll see these, and then you use a metal washer and rubber washer, rubber on the bottom, help with vibration and whatnot. And then just put your bolts down through here, tighten those together, and then these will go through the fender of the truck. Now we're gonna put our new coupler on our mass airflow sensor. You'll see the arrow pointing that way, so it's gonna go this way in the truck. And then you'll see this little notch right here, right there. Let's line those up. There she is. Look down in here and ensure that you don't have the coupler trying to get stuck. I had to like push mine out a little bit for it to slide all the way down. Now we can go ahead and slip it into the airbox. Just finagle it in there. It's gonna be a tight fit. There she is. Let's throw it in the truck. Let's go ahead and throw this in here. Line your bolts up with the holes in the fender. And I'll throw the nuts on the bottom of it. And that's gonna be a 12mm. There we go. Now go ahead and take your air temperature sensor and put it in the filter itself. Just like that. Now you want to take the air sensor cable and snake it through that little grommet into your airbox. Now take your air filter. There's our sensor. We want to connect to that. And then put it over the coupler and tighten our clamp down. Let's go ahead and plug in our mass airflow sensor. And then we're going to use the step down coupler, small end on the airbox side. Let's tighten this down. It's 1/4 inch or a flathead, but flathead's going to be a pain in the butt. We're going to go ahead and slip this sleeve over our adapter, tighten one of our clamps up. It's a 5/16 on this one. We want to go ahead and slip our intake side on, and this is just going to press straight down around our adapter. So I took that off just to make sure. It is supposed to slip all the way over this adapter, just like that. So make sure you're getting it all the way down. All right, so I finally got it on there. Had to take the airbox back loose from the fender. Honestly, I expected a little bit better fit and finish from K&N, but it's on there. Hopefully everything stays. We'll have to see. But last thing to do up here is to get this guy over this. There she is. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to put this trim piece on there. Hopefully it's tight enough to where it'll actually stay. So I was thinking this little guy was supposed to go underneath the fender, but I think this is actually supposed to go over the bolts that are underneath the intake. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap this on there, and then we'll be ready for our first startup. Well, you can immediately already hear a bunch more air sucking in. For sure. Let's go take her for a drive. Well, good news, she's running smooth as butter, like always. Give her a little romp here, see if we notice any sound difference. notice anything immediately. She's sounding glorious as ever. Sounds like we got a rock in our tire about to launch off like a freaking missile. All right, guys, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I didn't really notice any sound difference while driving, but the truck is really loud with the exhaust and the tire, so I'm sure it's just covering up the added noise that it gave, because as y'all just heard, this thing sounds amazing while revving. We definitely have a huge improvement on the intake sucking noise, which sounds glorious. Didn't have any of that before. And look at this thing, dude. It looks so freaking good. Definitely dressed up the engine bay a lot. Now, a couple things that I am disappointed with is the fit and finish. Coming from K&N, I feel like it should be better because these couplers are having to do more than I feel like they should as far as flexing to get everything to fit properly. If they'd have made this tube a little more angled down, it would have sat way, way better, I feel. And then those little things being incorrect was definitely a bummer. But I did buy this from, I think, Amazon, not directly through K&N, so maybe that's my fault. I don't know. Sometimes you win on Amazon, sometimes you lose. I'm sure I could have returned it, but we're freaking filming a video. We got the truck torn apart. We ain't returning it, at least not right now. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they can get me sorted on those. But I think I paid right at $300, so it's definitely not an inexpensive mod. And if I'm being just completely transparent with y'all, is it worth buying a cold air intake for your OBS? Probably not. I'm just being totally honest. If you are going to shows or you pop your hood sometimes, or heck, if you just like to clean your engine bay and look at it, then sure, it looks so much better. No doubt about that. I'm in love with just how the freaking filter looks. It looks amazing, but the whole kit looks good. Now, as far as the performance, I'm sure we will and have gained some extra performance. Where in the power band that was gained, I didn't really look at the graph. It's probably high in the RPM. So if you're not romping on your truck, you're probably not going to notice it. MPG, I don't even know that the box said anything about MPG. It's terrible on these trucks. We don't drive them because they're good on gas. We drive them because they're freaking amazing monsters that just bring us happiness. It's probably not worth buying on your OBS unless you're someone like me that just has to mod everything, which if you are, join the club. Love you. For anyone else, though, probably not worth it. Throw you a high flow intake or a high flow filter in your stock intake if it's in good condition. You saw ours is clapped, so I'm glad to have replaced all of that. And the truck's running amazing, super good. Of course, these things will just about run on water. They are the most non-particular engines ever. They just run. I could probably take the whole intake off and it'd be totally fine, not even care. But yeah, $300 is a pretty good bit. And like I said, I definitely would have expected the finish or the fit to be a little bit better. Now, I don't want to rag on it too much. I just want to be completely transparent with y'all because I don't want to be like, yes, it's the best thing in the freaking world. You have to go buy it or your OBS is trash. Get it if you want. I'll have a link to it in the description. But with that said, leave a like, comment down below. Let me know what intake you're running on your OBS. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell notification. With that said, I'll see y'all in the next video.